Welcome to our first lecture on rapid remote teaching. So after you've read the Meno and taken the pre-Socratic Meno quiz, we're going to talk about the material in a way that hopefully makes sense. I know a lot of you might be confused. That's actually kind of the point. So the first thing I want to do is set the context. This is really part of our larger conversation about thinking about your own education, something we all have in common. See, I got all my UCLA gear on for my education too. So what if I told you that there's something every one of you in this class knows the answer to, but even though you know it, you don't know you know it. So think about all the things that you have been asked to learn in all of your education, right? Now think about all the things you actually remember from that list, which is tiny. Now think about all the things that everyone in the room, when we were still there, would all remember. That tiny, tiny list of things that everybody remembers. What if I ask you a question that everybody remembers, but because of the way you learned it, you don't know that you know it? That would seem like a pretty bad situation if your education has got you to remember even a little bit, but you don't remember the things that you remember. So we're going to talk about what that might mean. That's the challenge I'm setting up. Can I get a question that you all know, but you don't know that you know? So we're going to use the Socratic process to go through that in a very stilted and online kind of way. So you may know something about Plato and Socratic dialogues. Briefly, Plato was Socrates' student. Plato wrote stories where Socrates was a character. He basically used Socrates to ask questions. In a Socratic dialogue, Socrates always talks with another character, and usually that character is kind of an idiot. It seems like it takes forever for that character to learn anything. So Meno is the idiot here. Socrates is trying to convince Meno of something, and Meno doesn't get it. So by the time Meno gets it, everybody who reads it, like you and me, we get it because there's explanation, explanation, explanation. So I've shortened it out just to a few key points to make the process work. So Socratic dialogue is where Socrates discusses something with another character, and Plato's using those characters to make his own ideas clear. So that's what a Socratic dialogue is, and we're looking at the one by Plato, which uses Socrates and Meno to explore the nature of virtue. So hopefully you already did your pre-lecture quiz, and now you've got out your note taker from page 102 in our course handbook, so you can take notes so that when you do the post-lecture, you have all the right answers. Because the point is that when we learn, starting by things that we don't know, working towards what we know. That's what learning looks like. So if you didn't get it right on the first time, this is so you can get it right next. So those are the questions you already answered. Let's see how we did. So in our text, we have questions, and Meno is talking with Socrates, and Meno is asking which question. If you look right at the top, it says, virtue is acquired by teaching or by practice. Is it given to man by nature or another way? Basically, Meno wants to know, how do we get virtue? He's actually talking about nature versus nurture, which is really old. But then we see that there's a big ellipsis, a ... part, where I left a lot of stuff out, maybe 40 pages. Because 40 pages later, they're still asking the same questions. They haven't made any progress. I told you, Meno's kind of an idiot. So you're welcome for not having to read all that. But what is Socrates asking? And he's been asking for the last 40 pages. Socrates is asking about a quarter of the way down. He says, let me repeat the same question. What is virtue? And they've been arguing back and forth for a really long time because Meno wants to know how you get virtue, and Socrates is asking what it is. Because the difference is, if you don't know what something is, how would you know if you found it? You could trip on it and not know it. So Meno assumes he knows the answer, and he's confident that he knows the answer, and Socrates isn't sure what virtue is. So they've been going back and forth for this whole time. So the difference is, Meno thinks he knows, and he's confident in his answer, and Socrates isn't sure about his answer. And then, on the first page for ours, which would be like the 41st page of the original text, Meno finally admits he doesn't know. In fact, in a long paragraph at the bottom of the page, he says, I know that people say you cast spells on other people, but actually you're like a torpedo and you go around and sting people. So he's doing two things there. He's calling him something else, including saying he's a fat, ugly head. And that was one of the things about Plato. He's known to have a big forehead. So he's calling him a big fat head or ugly. So Meno's mad that he's been made to look stupid. And now 40 pages later, he finally admits he doesn't know. So he started with confident assertion from ignorance. And 40 pages later, he's at that second step where he admits he does not know. And so Socrates says, great, now we can do inquiry, because as long as you thought you knew, we couldn't look. But Meno isn't ready for that yet. So he actually has a couple trick questions for Socrates. And his first trick question is, how do you learn something that you don't know? And Socrates goes on to say that it's actually part of the process of recollection. And he gives this long story about reincarnation and that your soul forgets everything because it drinks of the river Lethe, but your body just remembers everything because your soul is like water. And when your body is trapped and contains your soul, it's like a drop of water. So if you take a drop of water and you drop it in the ocean, you can't tell where the drop stops. So when your body has your soul inside it, it's like a drop of water. But when you pass away and your soul leaves your body, it's like part of the whole ocean. So his point is here, your whole life is just like remembering what you forgot. But Meno's still not done. Remember, he's angry because he looked stupid for 40 pages. So he says, well, can you teach me how you can't teach people? Which is another trick question. And Socrates says, well, I can't teach you, but I can show you. And that is the purpose of the slave boy sequence in Meno. I don't know why he looks like Homer Simpson in this picture, but Meno is going to watch the slave boy learn something, which is just recollection, so that Socrates can teach Meno the purpose and process of Socratic learning. So the purpose of the slave boy sequence in Meno is so that Meno can learn the Socratic learning process. Of course, Meno's a fake character, so really it's so Plato can teach you and I, the reader, the Socratic learning process. So those are the two parts of the purpose of the slave boy sequence. So the whole time it's going on, he's drawing in the dirt. So it gets really confusing. So what I'm going to do on the next slides is show you what it would look like. So you remember you're using your note taker. The slave boy is going to go through all 4 steps: confident assertion from ignorance, recognition that you do not know, inquiry and shared effort to discover the answers, and then work towards knowledge. So the Socrates says to the boy, boy, he's so unimportant, doesn't even get a name. Boy, do you know that this thing's called a square and it has equal sides? And the boy does know that because he's smart. And the boy, Socrates says, what if I drew lines in between the original square? So like H and G and F and E. And the boy says, okay. And he says, well, you'd tell if I was trying to figure out how big the square is and I count one way, it would be 1, 2. You see that? The boy's like, yeah, I see that. He's like, but I want to count all of them. So how many is it? You count. And the boy says 1, 2, 3, 4, because the boy is smart. And then he says, great. Now, Socrates says, how do I make a square that's twice as big as the original? So hopefully you had an answer in the pre-quiz. And now we're going to find out if your answer is right. And if it's not, that's okay. That's kind of the point. So the boy is confident. He says, surely, Socrates, you do it by doubling the line. So you started with AB, and now he wants to add BI to make the long line AI, the blue line. So he's like, it's obvious, Socrates, you double the side. But Socrates draws it and points out that you get a square that looks like this, which if you drew lines down the middle again, you'd see that it's now 4 small squares making one big square, but the total is 4 times as big as the original. And we only want it twice as big. So Socrates asks the boy if that's right, and the boy says no. And he says, okay. So if the first square from AB was too small and AI makes a square that's too big, how big should it be? And the boy says, well, 4 was too big, so let's do 3. And Socrates says, okay, well, let's count that out. If you count across the bottom, that's 1, 2, 3. The middle row is 1, 2, 3, and the top row is 1, 2, 3, so that equals 9. But we started with 4, and 4 is not twice as big as 9. That would be 8. And so he says, boy, do you know how to do it? The first one was too small, the second was too big, and the third one's too big. Do you know? And boy says, indeed, Socrates, I do not know. So the boy is wiser than Meno. because the boy figured out that he didn't know what he was talking about in 1 page, but it took Meno 41 pages. So Meno knew the answer right away. And here's the thing, you actually know the answer too. I'm guessing that everyone in this class knows the answer to this question, but the way you learned it, you don't know that you know. And that would not be very helpful, because if you don't know what you don't know, you can't use what you don't know, or what you know. So, the boy admits he doesn't know, and Socrates turns to Meno and says, Meno, did you notice how the boy started from confident assertion from ignorance, and then finally came to pretty quickly to recognition that he did not know? And Meno says, yes. And he says, well, don't you think he's better off for being stung by the torpedo fish? So he's linking back to when Meno was mad at him and said he made him look stupid. And Socrates makes Meno admit it's better to know that you don't know what you're talking about than to act like you know what you're talking about when you're wrong. So Meno has to admit that. And then Socrates says, well, let's watch the boy go the rest of the way. We'll do inquiry and come to recollection. So Meno watches the boy go through all 4 steps, because now Socrates clears the dirt. And he says, okay, let's start over. Boy, do you remember this is a square? And the boy says, yes. And he says, you remember how we made the 4 bigger squares by doubling the side? And the boy says, yes. He says, what if we start with something called a diagonal line? Now, if you count the diagonal line in the original square, how many pieces are there? And the boy says, there are 2 pieces inside the original square. And Socrates says, great. What if we do diagonal lines across all 4 squares? Now, how many pieces are in the original square with the diagonal? There are 2. And how many are inside the new square we made, BDML? And the boy says there are 4. And Socrates says, so what you're saying is, if you take a diagonal line of the original square and make a new square using the diagonal line, that will be twice as big as the original. And the boy says yes. And so Socrates gets the boy to go through the process, and the answer is something that you actually all knew, because the answer is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you all knew the answer. You just didn't know that you knew the answer. So that means you're kind of like rats in a cage that learned something but didn't know what you're learning or why you're learning it. So we watched the boy go through all 4 steps. He started clearly thinking he knew the answer when he said it was double. Maybe some of you put that. That's the most common answer. But sometimes common sense isn't really sense at all. That's okay. That's why we start with inquiry. And then you have recognition that you do not know. The boy figured it out really quickly. He said, clearly, Socrates, I do not know, after just 3 tries. And through the inquiry process, he came to the diagonal. And as Meno and Socrates discuss, if they kept practicing, he'd come to recover the knowledge as recollection. So what about Meno? Well, Meno started by confidently asserting that what virtue was, and he was sure he knew the answer. And then after 41 pages or so, he admitted he did not know, but had to feel better about himself, so he called Socrates ugly, said he was like a torpedo fish. And then they did the inquiry after they finally watched the boy, and they study on page 6 to inquire together. And there's another ellipsis, and throughout the whole thing, do they actually come to the answer? I'll leave you to figure that out if they come to the answer at the end. We can check in about that part. So now you're going to take the Socratic post-lecture quiz using your notes, and we'll check in to see if you're understanding the 4 parts of the Socratic learning process, which is confident assertion from ignorance, recognition that you do not know, inquiry with the shared effort to answer questions together, and recollection towards knowledge. So you can be thinking about how we've done that as a class together, and how maybe you've done that in your own experience, because Socrates' point is that's what all real learning looks like. So it's okay to know you don't know yet, because you should always think there's always things you don't know yet. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. And the torpedo fish and I say, have a good day.